What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, FightfulMMA.com, Fightful.com. Go over to FightfulMMA.com, get all of your news. Most importantly, get your discussion during these UFC shows. It's always a good time. Over 400 comments in tonight's event coverage, rather, for Poirier versus Hooker. The only two ranked fighters on this show, but boy, did they live up to the billing. Let's go ahead and run through the results. This will not be a long recap. Kay Hansen, 20 years old. Boy, did she look good. She won with an armbar over Jin Yu Frey. Now, she's a bit bigger than Jin Yu Frey, but this was a hell of a debut. She looks like she could really be something. She puts together things very well. I'm really digging what I have seen out of Kay Hansen so far. 7-3, like I said, she's 20 years old. She'll be 21 in August, I think it is. But she's won 3 in a row, and she started out in Invicta about 2.5 years ago. No, even longer than that, because she's had some exhibition fights and all that. But she fought as an amateur and then moved up to the pro ranks pretty quickly and has done exceptionally well. Beating Jin Yu Frey is no accident. And even beyond that, she beat Sharon Jacobson, who was a pretty formidable opponent at that point for her that early in her career. So I got a lot of high hopes for Kay Hansen and like the way that she looked. Youssef Zalal defeated Jordan Griffin via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Tanner Boser defeated Felipe Lins. Felipe Lins is the millionaire World Series of Fighter PFL winner, and Boser even joked about that after the KO in just a couple of minutes. Said that he actually saved the UFC a bunch of money by knocking out Felipe Lins and wanted a bonus, but also called out Maurice Green if he were to win tonight. Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. Kama Worthy defeated Luis Pena. Violent Bob Ross submission, guillotine choke, round 3, 2 minutes, 53 seconds in. I really enjoy the smaller cage and the finishes that it sets up, even though we didn't get that out of the last 3 fights of the night. We did get that out of Juliana Rosa defeating Sean Woodson, who was heavily favored. Darce choke in round 3. We saw a lot of good chokes tonight. Takashi Sato knocked out Jason Witt, TKO in just 48 seconds. Really dominated. We have Maurice saying, give me Ferguson versus Poirier next. I would be down for that. Then we got Maurice Green against John Vellante. John Vellante, who was competing at heavyweight, didn't think that Vellante was going to end up taking this one, and he didn't, although he looked really good in that third round until he gassed out and got submitted by an arm triangle from the bottom across the body. What? I've not seen that before in an MMA fight. Not in an amateur fight, not in a pro fight. Maybe it's happened. If it's happened, I haven't seen it. Now, there have been a couple times in the gym where somebody will post on my face or something, and I'll give a little bit more, send their arm across their body, or send their arm across my body, lock on that arm triangle choke, and maybe make them a little uncomfortable. If they're like a week 1, you can get them. But usually that's just to put the insteps in their thighs and kick out and do a little bit of a sweep or change position or something like that. Maybe you could get it if you worked your body underneath a little bit more. I'm confused as to how that submission worked for Maurice Green, but he was emotional after this fight. It was so great to see him win. He was fighting for his job, as he said, and he said that he needed to win this fight in order to be able to afford to move his family. And that ain't great. That ain't great that a UFC fighter who has fought now 4 times in the last year and is 2-2, it is not great that this man had to win tonight in order to be able to afford to move his family. He's picking up at least $60,000 tonight, maybe more with a bonus, but he gets paid usually about 30, I think, 30 per fight, so he should be at about $180,000 for the year, at least since last June 29th. If he was always at that, he should be doing all right, but you got taxes and corners and all that as well. Brendan Allen defeated Kyle Dukas via unanimous decision, 29-28, and we had a 29-27 and a 30-27 as well. Mike Perry defeated Mickey Gall via unanimous decision, 29-28. All across here. Was surprised it was this close. Then we got it. Number 3, Dustin Poirier defeated number 5, Dan Hooker via unanimous decision. You got a couple 48-47s, then a 48-46. Oh, man. Yes, this fight. This was everything that we thought it was, or thought it would be. They are who we thought they were. Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker, just slugging it out. I'm not to say that that's all they did was slug it out. They worked up against the cage, had some good striking there. Dan Hooker's knees are deadly, but not deadly enough to put away Dustin Poirier. There were a couple of choke attempts. This fight ruled so much ass. Oh, man. This was a better fight than IRS versus Mike Perry, as Muhammad Ali Atta Malik says. My God, this was just incredible. It's hard for me to even break this down from a technical standpoint because I was just kind of sitting there admiring it. I was just enjoying what I was seeing. And I sure as hell enjoyed what I saw here. Could not believe the war that went down. A fight of the year candidate immediately. One of those fights where you wanted it to go all 5 rounds. Going into the bout, you wanted it to go all 5 rounds. Dan Hooker loses, and now he went into this fight winning 7 of 8 on a 3-fight winning streak. He's getting set back a little bit. Paul Felder said he'd come out of retirement to fight him. Maybe that would happen because of how good their fight in February was. But I like the Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson idea. Poirier, I think, has lost 1 fight out of his last 8, maybe, because you had that Alvarez no contest as well. He has been on some kind of hot streak. The man has never lost 2 fights in a row. He is 26-6. Since moving to lightweight, let me see, 4. Man, 13 fights, only 2 losses. That is unbelievable. Guy's only 31 years old. He has been fighting on the UFC stage since 2011. He got into WEC a few months before that, so he has been on our television set since he was 21 years old. Give this man another big fight. Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, make it happen. Maybe Conor can get dragged out of retirement. Dustin Poirier has become such a great, well-rounded fighter. And not only that, a great person, a great dude. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. This card continued a string of UFC shows that were pretty good. Pretty good. That smaller cage at the UFC Apex really, really helps out. I really dig the smaller cage. I like the pace that it helps set, and it's for me. And these are MMA fights being conducted as safely as possible. All things considered, UFC has done a really damn good job. They have set the standard for safety as far as coronavirus testing goes. I think a lot of them in doing this. So next week, we got, I think it's next week, we've got another UFC show. I'm going to pull that up right quick. Apologies for not having that ready. Yeah, it is, or it's not next week. It's July 11th. Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns, and that's a 3-title fight show with Aldo and Peter Yan. That shouldn't be a title fight. Peter Yan should get a title fight. He should definitely get a title fight. Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, I'm not that interested in it. Max Holloway lost that fight fair and square. Yes, he was a great champion, but he lost that fight fair and square. I don't need to see it again. And then what happens if he loses? Well, okay, he's at the back of the line again. Oh, great. Andrade and Namajunas, too. I'm interested in that. Surprised Rose Namajunas wants to take it, but all that pressure of the championship is away. You have Ozdemir and Jiri Prochazka. I can't pronounce that goddamn name for the life of me. Zaleski dos Santos is on the show. Makwan Amir Khani's on the show. Leonardo Santos against Roman Bogatov. I like that fight. You have Alexander Romanov and Tybura on the show. Hey, I hope they have a smaller cage there as well. Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns headlining that show on Fight Island. It is real. Special shout out to Tim Traver here in the chat. Big thank you to him, always being a great supporter, as is Maurice. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe. We've got some exciting things possibly coming to FightfulMMA.com very soon. We're out.